Welcome back to another edition of Design Time. Before we get started, just scan the QR code on your screen to learn more about today's topic. I am here at Tri-City Furniture in Auburn with our good friend Kathy, and today we are talking about seat cushions. Kathy, why is it so important to know what's inside?
Well, the catch is comfort, but how long is it going to last?
Right.
Because there are some variables that they can do inside that cushion.
What are some of the differences we should know about?
Well, a lot of people think that's just going to be a hunk of foam in there, but actually to get a superior cushion, you want a denser foam, and you can kind of see and hear that it's a solid foam core, but then there's glued onto it are some thinner, smaller, thinner, softer cushion and foam. And so what that does is lets you support onto it, but not hard. And then they add the Dacron to the top, and that adds extra cushioning as well, and keeps the shape of the cushion.
So it's more than just a cube of foam in your couch.
Absolutely. It's kind of like a sandwich. We have the protein, heavy duty in the middle, and then all the good soft stuff on the outside.
All right. Can there be differences in firmness as well?
Absolutely. So we have lots of variables, and it has to do with the amount of air compared to the amount of foam. So some cushions will be very, very heavy. Those will be the firm ones. They have less air in them. So when you sit on them, you're not going to sink down in. But we have medium, we have softer. This one happens to be more soft. We also have things with down and with springs. So lots of variables. And these mostly vary with American manufacturers. So that's where you're going to get some really nice choices.
So are all cushion cores going to come wrapped like this?
They should.
Okay.
The reason being is it helps the foam to keep its shape. It softens, especially like a firm. You don't want to just hit down like a hard board. You want a little bit of cush for your body. And then the Dacron does a couple things. Softening, keeps the fabric nice and taut on the foam and the shaping, but it also helps the fabric not to shift around as much. So it should have all these components to have a good foam.
Well, keeping all this in mind, how do we know when we have the right amount of firmness?
Well, depending on you, if you want it a little softer, then maybe just the medium. If you have a hard time getting up, maybe you want to go to the firm, because it will let you set higher and help you to get up out of the furniture. And you might want to take afternoon naps, then you want something that's going to be softer. So the variables will be according to you. A lot of times on a sofa, I've had people have one cushion firm and the other is standard, because maybe the husband sits in that one spot and he needs to get up a little easier. And so that firmer cushion is important to him.
Interesting.
But everybody else in the family, you deal with a little bit softer.
I've never thought about it that way. So is choosing the cushion type just as important as choosing the type of sofa?
It is really. We look at a sofa and we want it to be beautiful. We select the arms and the fabric. We just don't always consider the support system. And really, you're going to buy a sofa for the support and for the comfort. So considering this cushion is really much more important. You need to ask questions about it and know. Good quality foams typically will have a very long warranty, and they will stay consistent. So I've had people buy firm because, foam will always get softer. And maybe 8 months later, they're like, these aren't getting any softer. They're too hard. If it's a good quality, they're going to have that longevity, and they're going to stay the way they are right from the beginning.
Well, you said foam cores like this should always come wrapped. Why would some not come ready this way?
It's all about money. They want to save. They just cut down on the cost. They put a softer foam in the middle. They maybe don't use the layering system. So there's a lot of reasons, but it's always to do with cost. And typically it's going to be in lower product quality as well as imports. That's where they're going to try to cut costs.
Well, just to reiterate one more time, choosing the foam cushion is just as important as choosing the sofa.
It's almost more important.
Okay.
Keeping in mind, if you need to know more about it, open a cushion. They should have a zipper. You should be able to see in there and see what they've actually put. If it doesn't have removable cushions or zippers, you probably are getting some of the cheapest that there is because they're cutting costs every which way and they're not going to let you see what's going on inside. So really keep that in mind. Make sure you sit and enjoy the piece before you ever buy it because we want it to be comfortable long term, hold its shape.
Definitely. Well, Kathy, thank you so much. Lots of good tips to keep in mind next time you go sofa shopping. This has been another episode of Design Time. To find more episodes on other pieces of furniture and quality, you can check our website at WNEM.com.